Hey, what's up, guys? This video is actually for the owner of this build. This is the 12K build, and I've made some headway on it. I got the soft start board installed, so that's working beautifully with the big 6S pack. No sticking of the power switch, which is really cool. And if you've been following me for a long time, uh, this was a problem back when I was trying to run 6S in 8K, and some of the power switches would stick immediately, and some of them I got some a little bit higher quality power switches, and those were iffy, but eventually they would all weld closed. So that was the purpose of that circuit that we added in there. Now, right now I'm to the point where what the guy wants to do is he's going to run an internal battery in a factory stock, and this is the way I've done that in the past with a Dean's connector and a Dean's connector in here, and that just plugs into it. And when I did this, after I did it, I realized that was pretty dangerous to have these live leads on the pack like that. But I did it like this again because when you plug it in there, if it doesn't mesh up just right with the connector inside here, you can't really do anything to solve the problem. But if you have the male connector on this side, you can whittle away at the connectors. I don't know how well you can see, but I've shaved them down, kind of sharpened them so they go in properly. So that's going to be one of the things that the owner and somebody else that he's teamed up with is going to be looking at to see if they want me to go ahead and do it this way. I had mentioned to put the female end on here. That's iffy because the way that this goes together is these wires come from the board, the battery tabs on the board inside here, and up and over. You can see the negative wire there, and then they go down into here and then out. So the way it's done, the way I've done it in the past, is I would solder the female connector on here and then plug it up to this and then pull the whole thing home, and then come up here with the solenoid off to where I can see that hole and squirt some hot glue in there and let that solidify. That way you can pull this out and it'll go back into plug back into the location that it was set, and then if there's any issue of it wanting to connect, you can whittle away at these male ends. And like I say, they do make caps for these, but that's why I never put the female end on here. Now, in doing it this way, let me go get the other stock so I can show you better. I'm just realizing how terrible my lighting is, but anywho, to do this, like with this stock, I removed this support right in here and then punched through that wall, and then I went to my battery pack in here. So to do that wall, that support definitely does need to be removed. This is just something to keep in mind. if you want to do it a different way, if you have a better idea about how to do it. So that is the update with the 12K. I put a flat top on here, and yeah, cut the sights off. I felt wrong doing that, but yeah, here's the sights. Just hacked them off, got it all smooth, and I ordered some carriage nuts, square nuts, and put them in there. Well, I put some epoxy in there and then kind of tighten them up a little bit and let them sit, let them cure, and yeah, you could see one in there, right in there, if the light was any better. But yeah, that worked out really well. It is definitely on there and true. But this rail, I had an extra one left over from the replicas, and I had to cut it down a little bit to make it fit, but the bolts and everything, they don't get in the way. It's a nice clean job, if I do say. So next, what we're going to be looking at doing is cutting a place out for the magnets to stick on the motor. And so we're looking at cutting this area out, and that guy with the friend who's got a 3D printer and is much more familiar with CAD programs than I am. We're thinking about maybe seeing if he can make a cover, maybe something that slides on and off to just cover up that that extra girth that we're going to have there from the magnets. But yeah, that's how it's coming along. As soon as I get an answer on this, I'm going to put it back together, and then we're actually going to start testing it to see how fast we can get the thing to shoot. Now, in order to do that, I am going to need to cut this out to get those magnets on there. So just some food for thought. Let you guys think about that, and that's where we are. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to get to show you this in the finished configuration because it's going back home and having the stock work done, but we'll definitely be able to see how much we can squeeze out of it. I really don't think we're going to get it all the way to 12K, but we're going to get it as far and as fast as we can. So stay tuned for that later.